Oasis of the Seas is the first of the Oasis-class luxury cruise ships in the Royal Caribbean International Fleet. The ship was ordered in February 2006 and the keel was laid in December 2007. It entered service in December 2009. The ship design began in 2004 and included a number of designers and architects, such as Atkins Global NB&D, RTKL, Waterfield Design Group, and Wilson Butler Architects. The ship was built at STX Europe Turku, Finland, and was followed by its sister vessel Allure of the Seas, which entered service in November 2010. Royal Caribbean took delivery of Oasis of the Seas from STX Europe in October 2009 in Turku. The official naming ceremony for Oasis of the Seas took place in November 2009. In December 2009, a four-night launch celebration began before leaving Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In May 2019, Oasis of the Seas underwent a $165 million modernization to include a Caribbean-inspired pool deck, kids' aqua park, signature bar, and a water slide, as part of the Royal Amplified Fleet modernization effort. One of the largest ships in the world, Oasis of the Seas makes an impression even before you board. The mega ship looms above its counterparts. But this can't be a ship effect continues as you board, lined with eateries, shops selling designer goods and logo wear, and Starbucks. And no outside windows, the ship's Royal Promenade can feel like a mall rather than a cruise ship. And yet, Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas has been enthusiastically embraced as one of the cruise line's most beloved vessels, even more than a decade after its launch. At double occupancy, Oasis sails with 5,606 passengers, but during the busiest seasons, there can be nearly 6,700 people on board. Its onboard attractions are so popular that up to one-third of the passengers never even leave the ship in port. The length of Oasis of the Seas is roughly 3.3 football fields, so there's plenty of space for everyone. The Oasis of the Seas deck plan is easy and comfortable. Despite its size and passenger capacity, Oasis of the Seas deck plans are well laid out and easy to navigate. This cruise ship is bustling and full of families, but there's always a spot or two for those seeking to get some R&R away from the kids, including the Oasis of the Seas adult-only pool and sun deck and a pleasant spa. The way decks are laid out on the Oasis of the Seas cruise ship allows for easy access to tons of amenities without the need to spend all day on the elevator. Few decks have a mix of public venues and staterooms, which means food and drinks are never far from the pool, the Oasis of the Seas casino, or the theater. However, it's important to choose a stateroom carefully, as many are located above or below noisy spaces. As a rule of thumb, most of the Oasis of the Seas cabins to avoid are those on Deck 3 below the ice rink and the casino, staterooms on Decks 6 and 7 closest to the theater, and those on Deck 14, as they're subject to noise from the pool deck directly above. If you're a light sleeper, the best cabins on Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas are those on Decks 10, 11, and 12. So what makes Oasis a hit for the families and active cruisers who love it? The secret is not only in the ship's neighborhoods, which divide the vessel into manageable pieces, keep bottlenecks to a minimum, and provide a dizzying amount of activities, but also in Royal Caribbean's ability to evolve the vessel over time. The $165 million 2019 Oasis of the Seas refurbishment brought new dining venues, a full pool deck makeover, and amenities such as an escape room. The ship is now on par with the newer, bigger Royal Caribbean vessels, many of which are Oasis of the Seas sister ships, and is an excellent pick for the longer itineraries, as you'll never run out of things to do. Cruisers are often drawn to sister ship Symphony of the Seas for similar itineraries in the Caribbean. This is generally due to its size, but choosing between them often boils down to budget, as they both offer similar amenities. But then, what are the main differences on board Symphony of the Seas versus Oasis of the Seas? Symphony is just a tad bigger, carries a few dozen fewer passengers, and offers a couple additional dining venues. Staterooms, however, are nicer and more modern on Symphony, so if design is important to you and you have the extra cash, Symphony might just be the ticket. Open-air Central Park neighborhood on board the cruise. The open-air Central Park occupies the center of the ship and forms a unique public gathering place, including pathways, flower gardens, and a canopy of trees. It features more than 20,000 real plants and rock-climbing walls. The central piazza is a multi-purpose space for alfresco dining, entertainment, concerts, and street performances. The Central Park neighborhood is lined with 334 staterooms, 254 with balconies, rising 5 decks high and offering views of the park. The park also hosts 2 glass arch domes called the crystal canopies, which provide natural light for the inside decks of the ship. Central Park has a range of boutique shops, a chess garden, a pergola garden, and a sculpture garden. Aqua Theater Freshwater Pool. The Aqua Theater is an outdoor venue at the stern of the ship near the boardwalk neighborhood. The amphitheater space offers a kidney-shaped pool, swimming and scuba diving, and some loungers on tiered platforms. At night, the pool can be used for performances such as acrobatics, synchronized swimming, water ballet, high diving, and fountain shows. The Aqua Theater pool has a dimension of 21.9 feet into 51.6 feet with a depth of 17.9 feet. There are 3 stage machinery devices to raise or lower its depth for different usages, and 3 lifts for multi-level performances. Underwater cameras can film performances and project the images on 2 giant Barco LED screens around the stage. There are also 2 diving towers, 2 springboards, 2 10-meter high dive platforms, and a trampoline between the dive towers. A trapeze is built on the rear side of the high dive boards. Trapeze artists seem to climb the curtain of water. After modernization, Aqua 80 was added to the Aqua Theater, which features extreme athletes and divers performing various feats. Additionally, Ultimate Abyss, a 10-story tall water slide at the top deck that was the highest water slide at sea, was introduced in the ship. The cruise's dining and entertainment facilities. The cruise ship offers several complimentary and specialty dining options, such as Boardwalk Doghouse, Cafe Promenade, El Loco Fresh, Solarium Bistro, Windjammer, Coastal Kitchen, Giovanni's Table, Playmakers Sports Bar and Arcade, Starbucks, Bionic Bar by Macker Shacker, El Loco Fresh and Sugar Beach. Royal Caribbean International's first barbecue restaurant, Portside BBQ, was also introduced on the ship. The Central Park neighborhood is home to a wide selection of restaurants, cafes, and bars. The restaurants include 150 Central Park, the Central Park Cafe, Antonio's Table, Vintage's Wine Bar, Chops Grill Steakhouse, a Canopy Bar, and Rising Tide Bar. The entertainment facilities aboard include One Sky, Spotlight Karaoke, Music Hall, and family adventures such as all-new Adventure Ocean, Social 298 Teens Lounge with gaming consoles, glow-in-the-dark laser tag, and Royal Escape Room, with a replica of the original Apollo mission control room, which was used to launch Apollo 18. The ship also features the Splashaway Bay Kids Aquapark, the Lime and Coconut Signature Bar, the Perfect Storm trio of water slides, and the Ultimate Abyss for guest entertainment. The Oasis engine and propulsion systems. The ship is powered by 8 Wärtsilä V12 diesel engines, which generate 7,500 horsepower each and 4 bow thrusters. The main propulsion system consists of 320 MW azimuthing Asia Brown Bovary azipods to give the ship a cruising speed of 22 knots.